Jean Smart has just returned to Broadway in the hit play, Call Me Izzy. And critics can't stop raving. The New York Times cheers. Jean Smart is an awe-inspiring triumph. Deadline calls it a tour de force performance and a remarkable new play. The audience is dazzled and completely in her hands, says The New Yorker. And The Washington Post adds, Jean Smart is transfixing. Call Me Izzy, the can't-miss Broadway event of the summer.
On today's Smart 7, government plans new smuggling crackdown, Kyiv pushes for more Russia sanctions, and much more. It's Monday, 4th of August, it's International Owl Day, and happy birthday Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Figures released last week showed that more than 25,000 people have already arrived in the UK via small boats, a record for the first 7 months of the year. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has promised to smash the smuggling gangs and has been busy signing agreements with European partners, including France, to cut down on numbers crossing the Channel. Now, the government is proposing to create a new offence as part of the Border Security, Asylum and Immigration Bill, which is currently progressing through Parliament. Dame Diana Johnson is Home Office Minister, and she says it will make advertising illegal Channel crossing an offence, which could have a penalty of up to 5 years in prison.
Clearly, at the moment, those social media providers have to look at what's on there, but we want to go after the individuals who are promoting this and stop them and hold them account for this criminal behaviour.
The Conservatives have already called the jump in numbers crossing the Channel a national emergency, and Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philps said the plan to target social media adverts is too little too late. Annette Idler is the director of the Global Security Programme at Oxford University, and she says it's unlikely to have a significant impact.
They are very small players in this really huge illicit economy. They are the ones that can be very easily replaced. So what we really need to think about is, what can we actually do to change the outcome?
US Envoy Steve Witkoff visited Gaza on Friday, including one of the sites run by the controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Hundreds of Gazans have been killed while attempting to collect food from the foundation's centres, and Donald Trump's envoy was sent to help craft a plan to deliver more aid to the people of Gaza. UN agencies continue to warn that not enough food is being delivered, and locals describe the visit as a media stunt, while 27 more people were killed at a GHF site on Sunday. With no significant increase in aid flow, airdrops of aid have continued, but Caroline Williman from Médecins Sans Frontières says they're a dangerous last resort.
There is zero way of organising or controlling what happens when these packages fall. Of course, people run desperately towards them. This is like the most undignified way of getting food assistance to people.
With no sign of progress on a ceasefire, there's increasing concern within Israel, and former Justice Minister Yossi Beilin says Prime Minister Netanyahu has gone too far.
Like is an extreme government with some extreme lunatics. Netanyahu is dependent on them. And for them, speaking about a two-state solution is unrealistic. But we have next year elections.
Last week saw increasingly deadly Russian attacks on Kyiv, with at least 31 people killed in a strike on an apartment block. And despite Donald Trump's expression of disappointment with Vladimir Putin and a deadline that is ticking down to new sanctions, the Russian president appeared unconcerned on Friday. He says Russia is ready for peace talks, but warned that his troops continue to advance, and was also clearly gently mocking Trump as he said all disappointments arise from inflated expectations. Ukraine is hoping that the US will impose new sanctions soon, and Ukrainian President Zelensky was talking up the latest tightening of restrictions on Russian oil on Sunday.
Sanctions have been imposed on the captains of Russia's shadow fleet, and we will synchronize sanctions with partners to ensure the pressure is effective across most jurisdictions.
It's been another weekend of chaos in the US as President Donald Trump reacted badly to a poor jobs report on Friday. He fired the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who is responsible for compiling the monthly jobs report, after worries over tariffs and US government sackings appeared to deliver a low jobs number. Trump says the figures are rigged and ordered Erica McIntyre dismissed from her post. Meanwhile, his administration's use of the National Guard and Marines for ICE enforcement in Los Angeles suffered a setback after the Ninth Circuit Court upheld a restraining order that bans federal agents agents from making warrantless arrests. LA Mayor Karen Bass says it's a significant moment.
The raids that were happening in Los Angeles, the random pulling and snatching people off the street, the court has said can no longer happen. They recognize that this was unconstitutional, that it violated the rule of law, and it has to stop.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Ferrari have a nightmare in Hungary and Spike Lee talks up Mr. Rihanna. Right after this.
Jean Smart has just returned to Broadway in the hit play Call Me Izzy, and critics can't stop raving. The New York Times cheers. Jean Smart is an awe-inspiring triumph. Deadline calls it a tour de force performance and a remarkable new play. The audience is dazzled and completely in her hands, says The New Yorker. And The Washington Post adds, Jean Smart is transfixing. Call Me Izzy, the can't-miss Broadway event of the summer.
Welcome back.
This weekend saw Formula One in Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It was the last race before the summer break, and there was a surprise as Ferrari's Charles Leclerc qualified on pole, while teammate Lewis Hamilton had a nightmare and qualified 12th. The race itself didn't go Ferrari's way, with McLaren scooping up another 1-2, leaving Mercedes' George Russell in 3rd, Ferrari's Leclerc in 4th, and Max Verstappen all the way down in 9th. Lando Norris took the victory, which sees him just 9 points behind teammate Piastri in the points, and he sounded happy.
It's always a bit of a gamble, these kind of things, but it also requires, no mistakes, good laps, good strategy, all these things, and that's what we had today, so I'm very happy.
Spike Lee is back with a new movie starring Denzel Washington called Highest to Lowest. It's a thriller about a music mogul who is facing a ransom plot, and it's the 5th time that Lee and Washington have teamed up. Spike is also very impressed by co-star of the movie, Mr. Rihanna, A$AP Rocky. He was keen to talk up the musician turned actor when he popped up on The Tonight Show.
Denzel and A$AP go toe-to-toe. I always thought that A$AP looked like he could be Denzel's son. When you see it on the screen, it adds an element of father and son. And they...
You saw that at work.
Don't sleep on A$AP.
If you're a fan of supernatural horror, you'll be familiar with The Conjuring series, which has seen a whole universe of spooky demon-based activity come to life. The 9th movie in the series, and the 4th to feature the investigations of Ed and Louise Warren, is about to hit the big screen. This one is called The Conjuring Last Rites, and it is billed as the case that ended it all. It reunites Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as the supernatural investigators, and it even features fan favourite haunted doll Annabelle in the trailer. It hits cinemas in September.
This thing in your house is a demon. It's the first one that we ever encountered. We ran away. And after all these years, it wasn't done with our family.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at Vanta.com.